Greetings. This is Justin Allen with the Elite Nurse Practitioner. Welcome to the Elite Nurse Practitioner Show, a podcast dedicated to nurse practitioner entrepreneurism and achieving financial freedom, where I talk directly with nurse practitioners who need help. Listen up. Our market is saturated. Jobs can be scarce. We are underpaid. We are undervalued. We are taken advantage of by the sharks within the healthcare system. And frankly, screw that. Sick of it. And it's time for a change. And listen, I'm here to help make that happen. We are powerful. We can forge a path where we are in control of our career and ultimately our financial and personal well-being. You do not need to submit to healthcare administrators and your doctor overlords. You do not have to take the measly salary. You do not have to work 50 to 60 hours a week. There is a different way, and I'm here to show you that path. This podcast is raw and unfiltered. I have not talked with the nurse practitioners in this podcast prior to the call outside of an email exchange to schedule the episode. What you're about to listen to is a consultation session between a nurse practitioner and myself. It is real, it is unscripted, it is unplanned, and I have no idea what we're going to talk about. Anything and everything can happen during our conversation. The nurse practitioners in these episodes are struggling with an issue in their professional or financial life, and they have reached out to me for help. My goal is to help the nurse practitioner with actionable advice that will enhance and improve their professional, business, and financial life. My other goal is to hopefully help my nurse practitioner sisters and brothers build a more productive, powerful, and free life. So I hope the content and information within these podcast episodes does just that. All right, onto the episode.
Hey everyone, today we'll be talking to Chris, who is a family nurse practitioner. Currently, he is working full-time at a primary care clinic. He's wanting to start a men's health and weight loss clinics, and he is in the beginning stages of starting that practice. He's needing help with shifting his mindset from being an employee to MP to a business owner. He needs some assistance with some marketing stuff here at the beginning of opening his practice, and he wants some assistance analyzing some various business opportunities. Hey Chris, how are you?
I'm well, man. Yourself?
Doing good, man. Thanks for hopping on here. So, tell me about yourself. How long have you been a nurse practitioner for? What sorts of things have you been doing?
Sure. I've been a nurse practitioner for 10 years, mostly in primary care. Did a lot of Medicaid and a lot of soft specialty work. So seeing usually at the peak of my career, between usually 40 a day up towards to 60 primary care patients.
Yeah, that was fun.
Oh, yeah. It was taught me a lot, though.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing about being an NP for the first, 5 to 10 years or whatever. You work in places like that, and you learn a lot of stuff.
That's our residency.
Honestly, yeah, absolutely, man. It's the same thing for me. I mean, I'd work in really busy ERs and really busy urgent cares, and I mean, I learned a shit ton of information in those places, for the first 5 to 7 years of my career. So I mean, I don't regret it at all, but it's not sustainable long term.
It's not. I mean, to make the money for us, you have to turn the volume, and have a good RVU basis. And then if you do, just a regular salary, seeing, you're 18 to 20, you're not going to make much.
No, you're going to make nothing. That's how it was for the urgent care when I was working. I mean, 50, 60, 80 patients some days. I mean, it was fucking ridiculous, but I mean, I made a lot of money.
Right. Yeah.
So,
now it's like trying to stop the trading my time for money completely, having a little bit more freedom, making that money on the side through tax advantage ways, and enjoying what I do.
Right. Yeah. Cool, man. All right. So you are starting a men's health clinic, weight loss clinic. So tell me kind of where you're at with that. You mentioned right before we started recording that, you're just in the beginning phases.
So I have a LLC done. I've scoped some businesses for rooms. I have one room that'll give me like 1 day a week, so 4 days a month, basically, just to pay a little bit to hang the DEA. And then I'm looking for 2 other rooms to actually have a little bit of time during the week, kind of do something on the weekends and in the evenings. I'm just getting prices for those. I'm kind of waiting to get those rooms so I can get the DEA license, so I could get fully established. I mean, I suppose I could do weight loss in the beginning. I wouldn't need it. I'd go ahead and get the website going and the malpractice. I looked at Berksey, I guess, and you have a few on your website.
Yeah. As far as the DEA goes, you really don't. I mean, you have a DEA with your job, right? I mean, you have a
I
DEA.
do, but it's attached to physician because it's in Pennsylvania. I no longer have independent practice in Pennsylvania. It's where I'm practicing now. And I would be opening my clinic in Maryland where I do have independent practice.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. So, yeah, if you don't have a DEA in Maryland, then yeah, you definitely need to have a DEA.
I had to Google it,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you're supposed to have a DEA in each state that you're, prescribing in.
Right.
You could still get that DEA and just attach it to where you're working, or even just put your home address on it or something if you wanted to, just to get it. And then whenever you open up your practice and get the location you want to be at, then you just change the address. So yeah, I would say just go ahead and apply, man, and get it, dude. Like, it doesn't matter what address is attached to if you're not going to be dispensing or administering controlled substances from the practice.
I thought they had put the kibosh at using your home, or else I would have already done that.
Sorry, what was that?
I thought they had said no, you can't use your home at all. Well, when I was looking in the regs when I went to sign up.
Yeah. I mean, I guess you could if it was your practice, but gives them the opportunity to come inspect you if you want. But I mean, I don't know why they ever would, but you could, I mean, like I said, why don't you just associate with the place that you're working at? I mean, who cares,
Yeah.
Yeah. And then that way, whenever you get your office, you just change the address, and then it's no big deal whatsoever. That way you can at least administer testosterone there. You probably won't be dispensing it, but you'll be administering it. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
yeah. And then in terms of malpractice goes, Berksey is one of those malpractice companies that tends to, it covers some people in some states, and in some states they don't like to. So you might have a little bit of a hang up with that insurance company. So instead, I'd probably just go with like CM&F Group. They seem to not really care.
Okay.
Yeah. So CM&F Group or Pro Liability tends to be pretty good too.
I've used Pro Liability in the past. They were pretty good.
Yeah. Super easy. Just fill out the application and usually get approved. It's pretty easy.
And then, I mean, really, once that's done, the website, and I'm going to start working on that this weekend. I don't think it'll take too long. And then I was just going to do a subscription model for the testosterone and the weight loss, actually.
Yeah. That's the best way to go. Yeah, the website, dude, doesn't have to be anything magnificent. You know what I mean? It can just very simple, straight to the point. I mean, you can build that on GoDaddy or Squarespace or whatever on your own. I think when I first started my men's health clinic, I believe I built mine on GoDaddy over like a week. I just did it myself. And that was the website we used for years. And I mean, it worked, so it doesn't have to be anything, anything crazy, just a nice, simple website, as long as your services are outlined very, very easy, like it's very obvious what you do right from the get go. You know what I mean? So like, don't just have a bunch of gibberish on there. No one cares about that. Like, just be straight up with what you're doing. You know what I mean? And then have an about section with you on it, list your services, have an easy ability for people to schedule with you online, and that's pretty much it.
Calendly for that or something like that? Or?
Yeah, I would just use the calendar integrated into EMR.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I would have a separate program for that. Yeah.
Okay. So do the app all right, I'll have to look at the charm and put it on the website. That's what I end up using that, but I heard you use Simple Practice, and that looked pretty good too.
Yeah, we've been using Simple Practice for 7-8 years at this point.
That doesn't send the scripts in, right?
Sorry?
Can you send the scripts in integration, or no? You just call them in?
No, that's the one downside of Simple Practice is there's no e-prescribe feature, which I find really surprising at this point, but they still don't. So we use MD Toolbox for e-prescribing, but the majority of our meds are sent through compounding pharmacies, and we just use the compounding pharmacy ordering portal through the compounding pharmacy. So like, with these niche-based cash practices, you're just not going to be e-prescribing stuff that much. So it doesn't really matter that much.
Yeah, I made a few relationships with the compounding pharmacy, so I have a few of those portals set up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense then. Okay.
Yeah. Super simple.
Need a phone and a fax, I suppose,
Yeah. I would just if you're just starting this on your own at first, kind of part-time, I would just use a phone app or something. I mean, I wouldn't get anything complicated. I mean, Spruce, Spruce pretty much does everything you need, so you can just use them.
Yeah.
And then just put it on your phone, and then that way when it rings, you'll know that it's your clinic and not a personal call. So that's probably all you really need at first until you start getting busy enough to where it's just overwhelming. Just taking calls and scheduling people and that sort of a thing. So like you'll know when that time comes.
And then just hit a line, yeah. And
Yeah.
what I get hung up on a little bit too is just the labs, and not having that integration. Like I'm so used to ordering labs to the EMR, getting them straight back in. I've seen Access. Do they just fax you to Spruce and you pull it up that way?
Yeah, they usually just email them to you.
Email? Oh, either.
Yeah, email or fax. Yeah. I believe they just fax it to us through our fax, and then the PDF just gets uploaded into an email, and then we just get them.
So
Yeah.
It sounds like I'm making this a lot harder than it probably should be.
Yeah, man, it's pretty easy, dude. Like, so much of it's just pretty much automated. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
it's not complicated at all. And when you get started, you're only going to have maybe a handful of patients. I mean, it's probably not going to be ridiculously busy for the first couple months, and so you'll have the chance to kind of just work out the process. You know what I mean? You work out the kinks and stuff. I mean, you'll probably mess up the first few patients here or there with some things, but as long as the patients are getting their treatment and as long as you're collecting payment, everything else is just kind of not that big of a deal. You can figure it out.
And usually Simple Practice takes the payments as well online once you see them.
I'm usually hesitant about using the payment processor through an EMR just because they use a third-party merchant service provider.
Okay.
And a lot of those merchant services, they don't like these cash-based medical services like weight loss and hormone replacement therapy and stuff. And if they find out what you're doing, they could shut down your payment processor within the EMR.
Oh, wow.
And if you're solely reliant on just that one payment processor and they shut you down, then you're kind of, you're up shit creek basically. So you need to find a payment processor where they don't really care what you're doing.
Okay.
So we keep our payment processor separate from our EMR.
Okay.
That's what we do. I mean, a lot of people integrate it within their EMR. They have no problems at all. But some people, if it gets shut down, then they're scrambling, right? Because they can't take payments that day.
Absolutely.
So you can create the account with the EMR and use it as your backup.
Okay.
Like, just don't use it much. You know what I mean? It's just there. And you can use it for your backup. That's what we do. Like, we very rarely ever use the invoicing system through Simple Practice. Like, we might use it just every once in a while. But we use Clover for our payment processor. They don't really seem to care.
Oh, perfect.
So, yeah. So you can use Clover. A lot of people use QuickBooks Go Payment.
Okay.
A lot of people use Square. Don't have a problem with it, but Square can shut you down if they figure out what it is that you're doing.
Gotcha.
So one thing you can do is you can just go to Google and type in a high-risk payment processor, and they usually will charge you just a little bit more compared to a regular payment processor like Squarespace. It's usually not that much of a difference. It's a minuscule percentage point. It's like 0.2% more or something.
Okay.
But you can look up a few of those too and go with any of them really at the end of the day. It just doesn't matter that much.
Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah. And so your clinic, you just have you make portals with Quest and LabCorp, Access, Rupa. You do all that, so you can send them where people want, or you just give them a sheet of paper, say, "Hey, you go where you want."
Yeah. So if they pay cash, we just use Access, right? So if they pay cash for their labs, we will either just draw them in office, all right, and then we just drop it in the bag, UPS bag, FedEx bag, or whatever, and get sent to Access.
Yep.
Or if it's busy and they're paying cash, we'll give them the Access order form, and they'll go to LabCorp and get it drawn. Draw it there. I think it's a little fee, $20 or whatever it is. I don't even remember. And so you could do that, or if you are accepting insurance, then if you let them use their insurance for their blood work, I just give them an order. I just give them a standard order that I made for my men's health clinic.
Oh.
Like, it's literally it's a Microsoft Word document I put my clinic name and address and my name, my MPI number on there. And I just list the labs that I want. And then I sign it at the bottom. And I put a fax number and an email and a phone number. Like, here you go. That's it. It works. Whatever,
Man, I've been sitting on this for a couple of months and making this too difficult, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of people do that, man. Don't worry about it. You're not the only one. So
that's what I was talking about with the mindset. It's like just kind of like, okay, just get up, get moving. Don't worry about the money at first, and then reevaluate, 6 months or so and see if you're losing.
Well, in terms of a mind shift thing, in terms of being an entrepreneur, money should always be your goal.
Right.
Okay. So that should always be your motivating factor when it comes to any business that you have. So, when you are a clinician and a business owner, you have two jobs, business owner and clinician, right?
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people mix those things together, and that's not a good idea. Yeah. So like, you can be compassionate and have empathy and that sort of a thing as a clinician.
Mm-hmm.
But when you start carrying over that into business owner, that's when you start losing money, and that's when you start giving away shit for free, and that's when you start working for free, basically, or you start working for pennies. You're not making any money because you're being too compassionate clinician. Yeah. So you need to make sure you separate those out. When you are in the exam room with the patient, you are Chris, nurse practitioner, right? When you are checking them out, you are Chris, business owner, all right? Like, you need to make sure you are able to switch that on and off, all right? Yeah.
How often when you're first starting out, and, if I get one of these rooms, I may not be able to use Google SEO. I've heard you say you go to barbershops and gyms just to add your flyers. Any other marketing tips to get your name out besides word of mouth, which is kind of slow sometimes?
So you're not going to be able to use a Google business listing?
There are already businesses there. I assume they've already taken it. I haven't looked yet.
Gotcha. Could be, if you put the suite number on there,
okay,
you might be able to get away with getting a Google business listing that way.
Okay.
So you could try it.
All right.
You could just create a Google business listing and put the address on there and then put suite A or whatever suite you're in and see if that works.
Okay.
I've done that before and it worked. When I would attach my medical cannabis clinic to dispensary locations, I would create a Google business listing and I would use their address, and I would just put suite A or suite 1 or whatever, and it would take it. So you could try it and see if it works. If it does, great. If it doesn't, well, honestly, like, the Google business listing is such an important thing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if I was to rate the importance of marketing assets for a brick and mortar business,
mm-hmm.
I would say the Google business listing is the number one most important marketing asset you have.
Okay.
And it is, and if you weight it out, in terms of the importance of it,
yeah.
It is probably 2 to 4 times more important than the second best marketing asset you have.
Oh, wow.
So, like, it is very important. It's one of the reasons why a lot of telemedicine practices have a hard time gaining momentum.
Okay.
Is because no one can find them.
Got it.
And so with a Google business listing, you can find your business within a geographical location, right? So I would really, if you can find somewhere that actually has a dedicated address, that might be a little bit more than the suite that you're going to, rent.
Right.
It's worth the extra money just for that Google business listing.
I think that's going to be important. I live in a kind of a metropolitan area. We have I think it's 300,000 people, median income's 120. And I know there's 4 clinics in the county.
4 men's health clinics?
Well, there's an OBGYN doing it. There's a functional medicine doing it. And there's that one of those game day guys doing it, and then one person that's world league trained.
Is there any dedicated men's health clinics?
One that's dedicated to only men. The others serve everyone.
Right. The other ones are just wellness practices that do HRT and shit.
Yeah. Women, men, and weight loss.
Right. So.
And one of them just only does pelleting. The other does like one does the creams, and the game day, I think they only do the injections, but I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. So you really don't have a whole lot of competition, really.
Just those guys, I think, yeah.
Yeah, just that other men's health clinic, really. That's pretty much your only competition you got. I mean, I wouldn't consider the other places competition for men's health.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, I really wouldn't, know. It's like a dedicated weight loss clinic versus a wellness practice that does weight loss and a bunch of other stuff. They're kind of your competition, but you're still the dedicated weight loss clinic, right?
Okay.
Same thing with the men's health. You're the dedicated men's health clinic.
Okay.
The city that my men's health clinics are in, there's a lot of other people that do HRT, but there's no one else that does men's health. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
that's different.
Yeah, it's different. A lot of guys would prefer to go to a men's health clinic, right? So I think that if you can find a location that is independent of being as a sort of salon suite, whatever it is, that would probably be your better bet.
Okay.
This place that you're wanting to go to, tell me about it.
The one that I found so far, one's at a primary care clinic. The other one is at a primary care clinic, like renting a room. And the other one's in an aesthetics practice.
So I can see issues with both of those.
Yeah.
The aesthetics practice is mostly going to be women.
Yeah.
So you're not going to have really any kind of advantage being there.
Okay.
You know what I mean? In terms of walk-in traffic goes.
Yeah.
Majority of that clientele is going to be women. So you're probably not going to get a lot of just organic traffic there. The primary care practices you could, but the issue there though is that I could see men saying, "Hey, why do you take cash? This primary care practice accepts insurance." And you're always gonna have to be explaining that we're not the primary care practice; it's a separate business.
Yeah.
And then when the primary care doctor or whoever owns this primary care practice, gets wind of how much you're making from a cash-based perspective with the testosterone replacement therapy, they're going to start wondering if they can be doing it too.
So it might be worth paying a little bit of money just to be by myself.
Yeah, I would.
Even if I I really only have the weekends to give this right now, but I guess that's okay.
Fine.
Yeah.
It's fine, dude. Dude, my men's health clinic, man, I only saw patients on Friday afternoons.
That was it? Wow.
That's it. Yeah. I never saw patients more than one day a week at my men's health clinic.
Wow.
Ever.
Yeah, I was thinking of doing Friday afternoons and Sundays, actually.
That's literally all you need.
Okay.
This is the beautiful, dude, men's health is not primary care, man.
Right.
You are not seeing these people on a regular basis for prescription refills, and these people aren't coming into your office and sitting down and you're checking vital signs, and it doesn't work that way.
Right.
You're going to see these people in person one time, maybe. Mm-hmm. Some of them will just want to be done telemed completely.
Sure.
And every follow-up after you see them one time in person, for the initial visit, to just check some vital signs, get blood work and that kind of stuff, every visit after that, all the follow-ups are just going to be telemed. And the follow-up visits with men's health take 5 minutes.
Yeah, they're easy.
Yeah. So you don't need to have 3 exam rooms, and you don't need to be there Monday through Friday for 7 to 8 hours. It's not that kind of practice. You know what I mean?
Just find one room type of thing, no big deal.
Dude, yeah, man. A little reception area, a desk for your receptionist when you get one, an exam room in the back, and maybe a room for some supplies or something, that's literally all you need, man. It can be done in 500 to 750 square feet.
Okay.
1,000 square feet is the most you need for a men's health clinic. You just don't need any more than that unless you start doing a bunch of procedures and stuff.
No, I don't want to do pellets, procedures. I'd rather just do the creams and injections. It's easier and more effective.
Yeah, exactly. It's more effective. Pellets are a waste of fucking time. I would never. I don't do them.
3 months of feeling good, then you feel crappy for 6 months.
Yeah, man. Men don't like pellets. Anyways, I've never met a man who liked pellets. I just haven't. You know. So, yeah, creams and injections. That's it. I mean, you could do some IV infusion and stuff like that in there if you wanted to, but I mean, it's minuscule in terms of your revenue goes. You're gonna be making all your money with testosterone. So. So even if you're there just 1 or 2 days a week, dude, it's fine. You don't need anything. You don't need anything super fancy. You don't need anything big. And I would just get something so you have that business listing. And that way, when you begin to start getting busy, when you start, you'll probably be able to realistically handle 50 to 100 patients on your own.
Okay. Working time somewhere else.
Yeah. And yeah. After that, man, you're probably going to need to hire some help. You know what I mean? So you'll be able to do 50 to 100 by yourself. The way I see a little concierge practice is, if anyone out there ever wanted to start just a very simple concierge practice, solo concierge practice, high end, you could do it all by yourself. Up to 50 to, between 50 to 100 patients. And you wouldn't kill yourself really, Right. But after that, you're going to need some help. And I say 50 to 100 because, it just depends on how much time you have, what your stress levels are, just basically, what do you want to deal with, right? So a lot of people just don't want to deal with it. And when they hit 50 or something like that, they're like, I need help. And other people are like, I can just keep going and going and going. And then when they finally hit 100 patients, maybe 150, they literally just can't do it anymore. They just don't have the time. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, so you do it by yourself. So if you got a small location, like I said, 500 to 750 square feet, somewhere decent, somewhere just something super simple, I think you'd be fine. I think the extra money would be worthwhile. So you can have that Google business listing and you have your own spot.
Okay. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
I'll see if I can't find. There's a few other places that were a little bit more expensive. I didn't go for it because I working full time. I was like, well, I don't be losing $1,000 a month for a little while I'm trying to get this going, but it may be worth it.
All right. I hope everyone's enjoying the episode so far. I just wanted to take a quick break to thank everyone listening and also give a big thank you to all of my social media followers and email subscribers. If you haven't done so yet, please subscribe to our email list at www.elitenp.com and make sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. Email subscribers will receive updates on new weekly podcast episodes, multiple weekly articles we publish, new courses, and everything else related to helping you succeed. Remember, all Elite Nurse Practitioner courses are designed to help you build a niche practice, increase your financial strength, and to break free from the rat race. If I can break free and the other countless nurse practitioners can break free, then so can you. Additionally, please share this podcast with your other nurse practitioner sisters and brothers out there. The more NPs that venture out on their own, the stronger our profession will become. Now, let's get back to the episode.
Yeah, I think so. How much do they want a month?
I found it's anywhere now when I've been looking, 900 to 1,200 for 600-700 feet.
Dude, it's all, and that's nothing, man.
Okay.
It's nothing. It's nothing. $1,000 a month is literally nothing.
Okay.
For a business. I mean, it really isn't. If you've never been a business owner, it sounds like a lot. It sounds like a lot of money that you're just throwing out. It's $1,000. Shit,
that's not coming in yet.
Right, exactly. That's 2 car payments or whatever. You know what I mean? So I get it, but it's nothing, dude. You're talking about that $1,000 is 3 or 4 patients. That's it. And you factor in your utilities, your internet, your electricity, and all that kind of stuff. When it's all said and done, you're probably looking at anywhere between $1,500 and $2,000 a month just to kind of keep your place, open. You should hit those. Your business should generate that by month 2. It really should.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So, you'll have to shell out a little bit of your money at first, but after that, man, you really should be able to stop investing money into the business. You should be able to by month 2 or 3. So that's just the investment you got to take to get it started, you know?
Yeah, once you make the packages, every 3 months is what I've been seeing for the testosterone. Pay every 3 months, and then here you go.
Yep, exactly, man.
That's the mindset, man. It's the whole. I guess it's hard because I've worked so long in organizations. We're used to everything being done. And then you start from the bottom, and you're like, oh, I can't do it because I don't have these operating procedures, and I don't have this, and I don't have that.
Yeah, you don't need no operating procedures. Don't worry about that.
And the second opportunity to kind of fit in, which gave me a little bit of pause, is there's a doc, primary care, retiring, and he's kind of looking to get rid of his practice, kind of wants to turn it over. So I'm doing due diligence with the accountant, but it almost seems like that's more of a headache than working for a W-2 and doing this on the side. Because that'd be
how big of a clinic is it?
He's got 3 rooms. He's been there like 20 years.
How many patients does he have?
His billings, he's not quite told me. I know his billings was for primary care was like $287 last year.
He billed $287,000, or he collected it? And what was the profit? Do you know?
From the accountant, it says it was a little negative. A little, like -70, basically. The accountant wants to have a face-to-face to kind of see what's going on. I know my primary practice last time, I had 4 rooms, but I collected 1.2 yearly. So I know I could crank, but then again, that was kind of the reason I left in the first place. I was like, hey, it's what I know. I can make some money here.
I would never buy a business from someone that's not profitable.
Okay.
What's the point?
All right.
I mean, what's the point? You know what I mean? Like, unless you see some sort of really significant growth avenue that you can take, or something that you can fix easily to make it profitable, then yeah, maybe I would consider it, but I wouldn't give that person much for it.
Okay.
I mean, businesses are valued based off the net income, their profit.
Right.
And usually for a primary care practice, like a medical practice in general, you're looking at probably anywhere between a 3 to 7x multiple on 1 year's net income. So, just for simple math, if you made a profit of $100,000, you want to sell your practice, you might get $300,000 for it. You're not going to get more than that. You're just not going to. If your business makes $1 million a year profit, your multiple's going to go up on that because it's a lot more profitable. You can get $5 or $6 million for that kind of business. If it's negative $70,000, I mean, what's negative 70 times 3? He's paying you.
Yeah.
Take it from him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, just
like
to get a headache.
Right. He just wants to get rid of the headache, So, like, I wouldn't give that guy. I wouldn't buy that, because if you gave that guy $50,000 for it or something, I mean, I would look at the net asset value of everything that he has. How much is the building worth?
Right.
How much are the exam tables worth? How much is all that stuff worth?
Yeah.
The computers and all this stuff, the insurance credentials, etc. I mean, there's some value to those assets.
It's set up. Yeah.
It's already set up, correct. So I mean, there is some value to that, but I would just pay for the value of the actual assets of the business. You're not buying anything goodwill here, so to speak. When you buy a business, you're buying the goodwill of the business. You're buying the income, like you're buying the income generation from it. And so if you bought a practice that makes $1 million a year, when you buy that practice, you expect it to continue to make $1 million a year, because you're buying the services and the processes and the patients.
Right.
You're buying the whole thing, right? And so with this kind of business, there's no goodwill there. It's negative, right? So I don't know what the guy's asking for. He's probably out of his fucking mind. He's probably asking for a ridiculous amount of money. And I would just laugh at him and be like, "Are you kidding me, dude?
Like,
No one's gonna buy this from you, man."
yeah, I was talking to another mentor of mine. He's like, man, why don't you just save up a year's worth of living expenses and open up by yourself without paying anyone?
Yeah, exactly, dude. You probably would be better off.
That was his point. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You probably just be better off. Yeah.
With the FQHC, the HRSA grant's right around the corner. They already pinged my credit, put a little something, so it looks like I'll get the student loan relief. So he was like, "Well, why don't you just take that and do your thing on the side?"
Yeah. Yeah. I think I would just invest in your own business, man. I don't know if
Instead of trying to make the primary care. Yeah.
I mean, unless there is just something there that he is just doing god awful wrong.
I think it's just volume. I think if you get the volume up, he'd have the money.
Right. But do you want to play that game?
I know. I knew you were going to ask that question. I was thinking about it, and I hear it is a painful game. You're right. We both did it for a long time. Stuck with the insurance and chasing and writing off bad debt when you could just get the cash in hand first.
Yeah, man. That's you're buying a job. You're not buying a business, man. You're buying a job.
Dude.
Like,
oh my God, that hit the nail on the head, didn't it, man? You're right. Buying a job.
buying a job, man. Is that what you want? Dude, I get presented business opportunities all the time.
Okay.
I mean, all the time.
Sure.
Multiple times a month, I get presented some sort of business opportunity.
Okay.
99% of them are a job. I'm like, I'm not interested in that. That sounds like a job. No, thank you. Like, yeah, when your mindset shift needs to be not only income, as a business owner, but also your time. Like, you need to be focusing on your time and your money investment as a business owner. And your return should also be your time and your money, right? So, you can build a business that generates $1 million a year profit. But if you're working 80 hours a week or 90 hours a week, who cares? It doesn't matter. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That person that's busting their ass like that would probably rather make $500,000 a year and get 40 hours back a week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
you have to look at it from both a money and a time investment standpoint and a return on that. And so if you build a cash-based business that's subscription-based, you look at the money investment that has to go into that kind of business. It's not that much. You can get this business up and running with 3 months of expenses paid for $10,000, maybe a little bit more, $10,000 to $15,000. You can get these businesses up and running for less than $20,000 total, and 3 months of expenses paid, right?
Yeah.
So let's think about this from the high end. Let's just call it 20 grand. Let's say it costs you $20,000 to get this started and for 3 months of expenses. So you put $20,000 into this business and you start seeing patients, all cash based. You see them one time for 1 hour, and then every follow-up after that takes 5 to 15 minutes of your time.
Yeah.
Okay. And in the meantime, you are making money every single month from these patients, right? It's recurrent income. And you're doing nothing for that really other than giving them their refill. So that's the value in it, right? You're giving them their refill, and then they get their follow-up visits or whatever.
Right.
As you build this, okay, and you get more and more and more patients, and you get better at it, and you start getting these guys dialed in. 3-month follow-ups go to 6 month. Okay. After that, some follow-ups even go to like damn near 12 months sometimes. Like, there are some guys that I have in my practice where I honestly don't have to see them once a year. They are dialed in. Their blood work is perfect every single time I check it. We get blood work at the 6 month mark just because, we really it's a controlled substance. You're supposed to see these patients every 6 months, right? And so I get their blood work and I'm not joking you. The phone call is 30 seconds.
Yep.
How are you doing? Good. Any signs or symptoms? No. Your blood work looks perfect. Any questions? No. See you in 6 months. Like, I'm not joking. That's the fucking visit. Like, so you compound that with hundreds of patients. And so now you, at $20,000 you invested, you are now making that in profit every month, if not more, right? And your time investment, you had to put a lot of time getting it started, but now you are getting back, you're getting paid back your time and dividends. So now you are making more money and working less. And so you just begin saying, I'm only working 1 day a week and I'm making $300,000 a year. So now you're getting back your time, right? And so that's the mindset you need to have when you start a business or think about a business. And a lot of people don't think about that time aspect because, you know, most people think they're immortal and they're going to have an unlimited amount of time on this planet. They never think about what could happen. You know, we're in healthcare. We know what happens.
Yeah.
Like, we know what happens. Nothing good happens after 70 years old. Like, nothing. You know what I mean? So, like, we know. So, go into it thinking about that. What can I do that's going to give me back my time so I can live my life and spend time with my kids and do shit that I actually want to do, right? Like, that's anymore. I don't even think about starting a business unless it is predominantly passive in nature. I just don't.
Dude, that's a good point because, you know, you're right. I'm buying a job and I could buy an income and I could crank it, but then I'm back to work at 60 hours a week. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, good point, man. Dude, I made this too hard. I'm in my head. I just need to do it. Shit.
Yeah, man.
I feel like I wasted a few months. Like, well, that's all right.
It's all right, man. I mean, everyone gets stuck in a little bit of analysis paralysis. It's you know,
this is not that hard. You're right.
It's not hard, dude. It's not hard.
Like, there wasn't really a competition. I was like, oh, I got 6 people doing testosterone, and they're seeing a bunch of people. But you're like, no, they're not competition. It's not men's health.
It's not competition, dude. I wouldn't worry about it, man. And this is the thing. You only need to have a couple hundred patients. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if there's 300,000 people in your city, how many people are in your county?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you know what I mean? I mean, how many people are in your county? 500? 600,000? I mean, the county that I live in here in Colorado is over 1 million people here in the county alone.
Right.
You know what I mean? This place could sustain 15 men's health clinics if it wanted to, you know? Like, you only need to have a couple hundred patients. So it really just depends on what kind of life do you want to have, you know? If you're charging $150 a month on average, you know, let's say you're profiting 120, which is about what you should be profiting on this if you keep your expenses low, you know, every 100 patients is $12,000 profit, right?
Right.
Okay, you get 200 or 300 patients. How much more do you need?
Yeah. You don't.
And you work 2 days a week.
Yeah. And then I could go part-time after a couple of years, and yeah.
Mm-hmm. Right.
That's the dream, brother. Yeah.
You'll get there.
Thanks for the motivation, man. I needed a kick in the ass. Like, nah, you got this. Think about it right.
Yeah, you got it, man. I mean, you got one other clinic in the area. I wouldn't even worry about that.
Right.
You know? And if they're game day, isn't that like a franchise?
It is, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, man. It's franchise corporate bullshit.
Yeah.
It's not corporate bullshit with you.
No.
You don't have policies and procedures and standard operating procedures and all this crap you got to follow. It's just you.
WorldLink, you guys have some wonderful information about the testosterone. The WorldLink got some good stuff too. I just saw you drop the new weight loss. I might have to take that too.
Yeah, if you want, you know.
Thanks.
Yeah,
I appreciate it, brother.
Yeah, dude. I mean, you can do it, dude. Just don't get out of your head, man. You're overthinking some of this shit.
I'm definitely.
It's not that hard.
Now, is there a time? One last question. I apologize. I said about 45. But is there a time when you're open 3 months, you only got 3 patients, you're like, what the fuck am I doing wrong? You know, and you're like, what the hell? Is there a point where you're like, okay, I had to pull the trigger, do something else, or close it up, or you know?
Well, I mean, I would never just throw in the towel
No.
for something that you spend a lot of time building out, Usually it's just something to do with your marketing or there's some sort of disconnect happening where people just aren't seeing you.
Mm-hmm.
They're not finding you. Like, you have demand, all right? You have built-in demand for a business.
Everybody.
People are looking for you. You know what I mean? They're looking for you. They know about men's health. They know about testosterone replacement therapy. They hear about it in all kinds of, men's, male-specific podcasts and stuff like that. They know, and they're looking for it. And so if you make it easy for them to find you, then it's game over. It's like, you're going to get patients, dude, okay? So in 3 months from now, you have a handful of patients. Something's wrong. They can't find you.
Okay.
And that's what I mean about that Google business listing being so important.
Got it.
Because that is how people find you. Google prioritizes local businesses over anything else. Okay? They will see your business on the Google map pop up. When you go to Google and you search for something, it's usually the map that comes up first with the list of businesses, right? Yeah. That's what you want to be popping up on. And they will always prioritize that over some giant online men's health clinic that's, backed by $1 billion of private equity. So your advantage is that local people, you will be prioritized for search. And if you don't have that Google business listing, how do they find you?
Okay. So that's game one. That's market. What first thing I need to do is get that before I move forward.
Dude, absolutely, man. Yeah. From a marketing standpoint, when you first start this thing, your Google business listing is your priority. You get that on there. You have a good website. You put pictures on it. You list your hours. You list your services. You get a lot of reviews on it, and you make that your priority, right? It's getting that. And then after that, dude, it's just getting the word out there. Just to make people aware that you're out there. It's more of a brand awareness thing. Your Google business listing is for warm leads.
Okay.
Warm leads. These patients are already interested, and they're looking for a business to provide them that service. So they're already warmed up to the idea. You don't have to convince them that they need testosterone. They're already warmed up. And that right there is the easiest way to get patients and get customers is warm leads, and you tell them about it. Like, you just make it aware, boom, and you get customers. Then you send out just more of an awareness campaign out there, just so people are aware that you exist, because there will be people who are warmed up to the idea that see it, or there will be people who might be cold, don't really know about it, but it sparks their interest, right? Billboards, put some ads in barbershops and gyms, and, stuff like that. That's it. You can have a couple Google keyword search advertisements too, if you want to. That's it. That's all I would do.
Nothing crazy, dude. That's doable, man.
Super doable, man. Yeah. So think about getting that new location as part of your marketing budget, because that Google business listing it is so critically important. People don't understand that.
Done and done.
Yeah.
This sounds like I could probably have this up and running as soon as I get the DA within a couple of weeks here.
Yeah, dude. Get her up and running, man. Go furnish it. Go to Goodwill. Go to Facebook. Just buy some shit and put it in there. Don't order a bunch of brand new stuff. Don't order a brand new exam table, all this crap. No, it's a waste of money.
Share. What do I need an exam table for? You're right.
You don't need an exam table. What do you need an exam table for a men's health clinic? You don't.
Yeah.
You just don't. A recliner works. A recliner works. All right, let's put you back a little bit. Listen to their heart. I mean,
holy Christ, man! I needed a kick in the ass. Thanks, man. Oh, wait.
Yeah,
probably had this done months ago. That's it. Cool.
Yeah. All right, cool. Any other questions?
Nah, man. You have a good day, dude. Appreciate it.
Yeah, you're welcome. I liked the episode. You asking me a question. You have a personal curiosity for me or a question for me specifically?
I think you've said it before, but you worked urgent care. Were you working full-time urgent care while you started your businesses on the side?
Yeah, man, I was working. So yeah, when I started, when I started my men's health clinic and my medical cannabis clinic, I was working full-time at an urgent care.
Mm.
I was picking up extra shifts in an ER.
Oh, wow.
And I was picking up a shift here or there at a Suboxone clinic as well.
Holy jeez, dude.
Yeah. I mean, all those were 1099 except for the urgent care.
Okay.
And every business that I had, I told myself I would only use 1 day a week for it. So my medical cannabis was 1 day a week. My men's health was 1 day a week. Okay. Now the rest of the days I would work. I worked my ass off.
Yeah.
And it was tiring, dude. I mean, I was only able to do it for a couple of years and I got burnt out.
Gotcha.
But it allowed me to take on no debt.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? It allowed me to pay off a lot of debt.
Right.
And it allowed me to build some businesses that eventually worked for me. And then when I quit the ER and I quit the Suboxone clinic, I started the Elite Nurse Practitioner. And I started that just more as a part-time thing, just more of a blog, you know, writing my thoughts on the NP world and that kind of thing. And that started taking off. And I started taking away time from my men's health clinic and my medical cannabis clinic to divert to Elite NP.
Yeah.
And then I eventually shut my medical cannabis clinic down because it's just a waste of my time anymore.
Yeah.
To focus more on Elite NP, focus on my men's health clinics, focus on another project I'm working on. And so at this point, I just don't, like I said, if it's not passive in nature, I don't bother.
You already put the work in. Yeah.
Right, man. I paid my dues. I busted my ass for 5 years. I'm not going to do it again. I don't need to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I know what you mean.
Yeah. So bust your ass, pay the dues for the next 3 to 5 years. And then after that, it's a lot easier.
Yeah. I'm in my 40s. Let's hope the 50s are better, brother.
Yeah. All right. Cool, man. All right. Well, it's a pleasure talking to you. You got my email. If you ever want to do a follow-up, let me know.
Yeah, absolutely. Be safe. Take care.
All right. Cool, man. All right. Take care. Bye. All right. Hope everyone enjoyed the episode with Chris. Pretty good episode. He was stuck in analysis paralysis for the last couple of months. Just, worry about stuff that is really nothing to worry about, right? Like, a lot of you guys are like that. I mean, I was like that too. It's just kind of part of starting a business. So don't take it personally. Just get out of your head. Just get going. Focus on income generation and just treating the patient. Everything else can be taken care of later. But I think the big thing here I want to talk about is your time investment and your money investment, and then your return on your time and your money. Those two things are the things that you need to be thinking about when you start a business, or you scale a business, or you open up another business, or you open up another location. You need to do an analysis on both the money investment into it and also your time investment, and then the potential return on both of those. If the return on either one is poor, you probably need to start another business or think about what's wrong. Obviously, if you don't make money, it's probably not a good idea to start that kind of business, right? You're wasting your time. Like, you invest $100,000 into a business, you don't get your $100,000 back. I mean, that's just stupid, right? But it's your time investment. That's what you need to be thinking about, is the time. If you put 120 hours of work into getting this business started, and then you have to put 20 or 30 hours a week into it or whatever, within 3 to 4 years from now, you need to be getting back some of that time. If you're not, you're doing something wrong. If the business isn't working for you, that's the point that you need to get to. It needs to work for you, okay? If he would have bought that primary care practice, he literally would be buying a job. He would be giving away his most precious asset, which is his time. Giving it away. Throwing it away, right? Sure, he could make some money, but he'd be busting his ass for it. So you need to be thinking about that. What is your time investment, and what's the return on that time investment for any business opportunity or any job that you decide to take? If it's a poor return on your time, it's not worth it, guys. It's just not. Like I was telling him, I don't even bother opening up a business anymore or even consider an opportunity unless it is mostly passive in nature. My time is valuable to me. It is sacred to me. I'm not giving it up for anything. I don't care. Give me $1 million. It's not worth it to me to sacrifice so much of my life and my time. I'd rather spend it with my kids or going fishing or something. You know what I mean? So be thinking about that. What's the time investment and the time return on your next business venture? All right? Critically important, guys. All right. Talk to you guys later. Bye.
Thank you for listening to the show. Quick legal disclaimer. The content of this podcast is meant for informational and entertainment purposes only and should not be used as legal, financial, medical, regulatory, or practice-specific advice. For information pertaining to your specific legal, financial, medical, or practice-specific needs, please be sure to consult with your lawyer, CPA, medical director, and or your state's practice laws and the most up-to-date clinical guidelines. As always, do your due diligence when it comes to any information found online and in podcasts. The content in this podcast is copyrighted by Galaxy Medical Southwest 2023 and cannot be duplicated, rebroadcasted, or reproduced without our written permission.